All right, what about now? Thank you very much, Jan. So, yeah, that's a bit annoying. How long was I? About 7 minutes. All right, damn. But thank you very much. It's always when I never check this. I just didn't check it today, so, all right, thank you very much. All right, so I've got to fix this. The error updating. We've got to handle the It's okay. Cheers. Thank you very much. So, and welcome. I do hope you're going well. We are joined here today with Socks. There she is. Alright, other things that I've got to actually implement, which I didn't implement on the weekend, is I've got to implement the removal of stuff. I've also got to implement the creation. I started implementing the documentation and the notes, the services and stuff like that. I haven't touched the public links or anything like that at the moment. So, what do I want to tackle first? Well, we've got another bug here, which we should actually tackle. So if we're on linked object, move away and come back to linked object, it never reloads it. It also loses a lot of the data, and that's just because, well, there's a couple of reasons why. So what I want to do, I want to go to components. I want to go object component. I also want to open up project page, because in the project page we should have properties, components, and Welk tabs, which I'm not worried about. But as you can see on here with the Welk tabs, what's actually happening is we load that in, and then we move somewhere else. It doesn't come back correctly. And Defant YouTube, welcome. I do hope you are enjoying my content. So I've got to find out a way of how to either make this persistent, or if someone moves away and then comes back, it reloads it back in. Now, if we have a look at the data, if I move this to the left, as you can see, the data is not going to be large. It's really quick. We can get that super fast. So, for example, if I resend that, oh, I won't believe it. All right, that's lying. But yeah, as you can see, pretty fast. So I've got to figure out a way of, if we do move away and then come back, it loads it in, or what we do is we put it in state management, so it's there, somewhat solidified. And that way, when this gets initialized, it loads in the data and so forth like that. I can feel like the same thing's going to happen with documentation, notes and comments, and MISC. So what I'm going to do as a test, I'm going to go into the documentation. We've got the document compose in here. We also want the link object. I'm going to open up the link object to show you where we're actually doing this call. So we're doing it on a watch. Which runs everything, which essentially what actually happens is boots up. We check to see if the object store is loaded. Sorry, the source's object store is loaded. Once that's done, we then go through and get our data. That was one of our workarounds, just because it's not guaranteed when this loads in that we'll have the destination object that we need. I should also get rid of this here. And if there's no new object, it escapes. Now I could get rid of that, because if we're going... So I'm just giving you a quick little think what I could actually do here. There's a couple of things that I can do. One, these lines of code I can move somewhere else. If new value is false, nothing is loaded. All right, yep, cool. And we do pass in the new value because that's going to be the latest value. And that way we don't need to worry about a tick or anything like that. Oh, don't you want to be on the camera? Right. I can't hold my camera. Alright, there you go, sucks. Be on camera. Look, don't sit on the keyboard. Alright, I think what I've got to do, I've probably also got to have an on-mounted sort of situation here. And the on-mounted will actually check to see if we got the data. We'll still need the watch on the is loaded because we want that to, if it changes from false to true, we want to run stuff. Most of this will actually go in its own sort of function. But first, let's go on-mounted. I'm not going to do much in here. I'm just going to go console log. So that's meant to be capital D, on mount, and then we're just going to go A in there. All right, the reason why I've done A is so that way I have a timestamp. That's all. So we're just going to refresh everything. Ooh, status was not found in state management relates to. We had this. I know I did something around this. I know I did. I know I fixed this. But the thing is, I don't think I pushed my code. I've got it in the stash on this computer. But that's not a problem. What I want to do is I want to stop that. I want to move over to documents. And then want to move over here. I want to move to documents. I want to move over here. All right. So on mount, that will work like that. All right, so that's our solution. Essentially what we can do, we can have an on mount and then we'll have a check to see if the object store is loaded and then handle it like that. That's going to be it. That's how we're going to tackle this problem. However, that being said, there are some benefits and there are some not so benefits. All right, so we're going to go pro cons in here. Wait, let me pick the pen. So one, should do something so large. So one, don't need to worry about state. Oi, come on. All right, two, data refreshes. Data refreshes, we're navigating back. Oh, thank you, Socks. Cons. That's data request. Yeah, multiple data requests. See, if this was such a high priority, that would trump over the multiple data requests and so forth like that. Yeah, so the con. Another con would be we have to manage state. And that means if a user navigates out from here, let's say they go, all right, cool, I'm done with this project, I'm going to a Kanban board. We then have to handle that, the cleanup of that state to make sure that there is data there that's going to affect another object and so forth like that, because they could easily go, oh, okay, from this, let's say they go from this project and that, all right, cool, there's a conjoined project, this task over here. We haven't set up tasks, so don't worry about it. Yeah, that will be a problem. So your head's in the way. So, which is why I like having these scoped locally, down at this sort of level. So if we go away, it destroys the object, and then it comes back, we just bring it in. Not exactly ideal, but also getting the data to refresh is actually a kind of good idea. Because if there's someone else on here and you're moving around and you're doing stuff, you kind of want that data to refresh. So I am going to go with this method. So first off, check to make sure object data has loaded. All right, cool. If, and that's just going to be as simple as the equivalent of just checking this. That's it. If it's true, now this will actually cause two to load in. So we've got one where we're watching it and we're going, all right, cool. Once it's loaded in and all that kind of stuff, the object has changed and we're like going, all right, cool, we're going to get all this data and all that kind of stuff. But also that can happen at the same time as a mount. It is happening very rare. Very, very rare. So, which is why I'm also double checking with this one. Because it's false by default. Actually, no. Once it's loaded, it's false by default. Once we move away and then, all right, cool. I feel like this won't be a problem. Because on mount, the problem we have is this object store is not loaded. Unless we load it up and then we move away and then we come back and then this remounts. I feel like we're not going to deal with a race condition here. Alright, I'm going to assume that. Alright, this will be just load data. Easy done. Essentially, it's just all of this. We put it all in. Now this needs to be async. This will be an async function. Sweet. Because yeah, we're just waiting for stuff to pop in. We haven't decided how we're going to handle the errors just yet. I'm going to keep those to do in. This fetch data will be just load data. Easy done. Oi, come on, let me. Oh my god, fuck off. Excuse me, my French. I'm going to take that cap locks off in a minute. And that should be it. Now, it's having a problem with this. Alright, that's really super annoying. Why can't I call load data? There's nothing we need from the watch. That's it. That's all we needed. In fact, we can simplify this down. There. So, if I hit refresh on here, we scroll down, yeah, we've got stuff, we move over, boom. As you can see, it populates really, really quickly. If I open up this, let's put on a ridiculous 2G throttle on here. I'll move that to the right, we'll get rid of that, we'll move off, and then we'll populate that in. It glitches like that. But I'm gonna say that's gonna be fine. If people are having problems with that in the future, what I could do... Ooh, God, that's... Alright, I've got to really clean this keyboard. What I could do in the future is move everything to a state, but I don't want to move every bit of object into state. That's just going to drive me nuts, and also it's not the best sort of thing to do. But we solved that problem. All right, regular 2G, that's perfectly fine. If we do this using old GPRS here, so only 50 kilobytes down, you can tell it does fairly well. All right, no throttling. So yeah, once it's on this mode, it blips in pretty quickly. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that. All right. Next thing that we've got to do, we've got to fix these error updating here. Now, I know it's something small that I did. And I just realized a lot of the code which I did the other day for this, specifically around all of this. All right. So we've got the options. Yeah, we've got a weird error updating. I know we did something the other day. I've absolutely forgotten it. Because, yeah, we did fix this. It had something to do here. Yeah, it hit that. All right. Oh yeah, we're no longer using the int functionality. Yes. And we've got the watch relationship model, new value, old value. Because what we wanted to do was when this changed, we wanted to send it upstream. And we just watched the model itself. Okay, pretty good. What did I do? So the old value, new value, yep, that's perfectly fine. That all changes and all that kind of fun stuff. This won't work. God, what did I do? Because we've got relationship, which is the link relationship going down. I got all of this working perfectly fine. This no longer does what we want. And that updating priority is meant to disappear. Anyway, give me a couple of seconds. I'm just wondering. Got that one. Okay. Oh. Alright, we've got the link objects view. That's the relationship link which I want to view. Alright. This is to do with the link object. I'm not interested in the linked object whatsoever. We've just gone right through that and done that ourselves. Oh, link object table. Oh, no, that's... This one is to do with the relationship link, which is what we want. So... This is data we've been working on. Hang on, I must have got that wrong. Yeah, I was meant to do something like that. All right, linked objects we don't want. Let's just link relationship. Oh. Did we really just do that? All right, cool. Looks like I didn't fix it last time. Annoying, but that's fine. I'm just gonna put that on there. All right, I'm an idiot. I just reverted back everything. Fuck. All right, it didn't take me too long to get to there. That's fine. All right, I'm just gonna comment that. I'm gonna fix this one up again. We've got the async new alert. We then just want to go from here. Just cut it. Fine, socks. Can you stop doing that? Level that out on mounted. Only load data if object has loaded in. So if object store dot is loaded, then await load data. All right, cool. This one becomes different. This one will now be like blah, blah, blah. If data, if object data is now loaded, fetch data, easy done. So if new value, we know that's going to be a bool. We're just going to go await, and then that will be load data. All right, cool. So I've got back to here pretty quickly. Easy done. With this particular one, yeah, it looks like I just never solved it whatsoever. So if we actually go back into here, we're just going to do a full refresh. Oh. What the hell's happening now with the fetch? You know why? npm run dev is not running. All right, so unexpected character. Wow. Fuck you. Those are the only two changes that I've made. All right, cool. It's because I haven't made that fucking change and then this. All right, cool. Let's just get list with the underscore in there. And then everything loads up perfectly fine. All right, cool, and we've got the data. And then when we move that away and back, it will update perfectly. All right, I'm happy with that. Hopefully everyone else is too. And then the idea is when we change this, we'll get it to update. That shouldn't be too hard now. Now, the one problem is when this comes through. Sorry, I'm just looking at the... there it is. When this comes through, the new value doesn't equal the old value. We still get down here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go console log. I'm just going to go relationship lunk. We'll have the new value and old value next to each other. That's going to be perfectly fine. I'm just going to hit refresh. And what we're going to do is we're going to paste that onto the right. As you can see, we've got relates to empty string. All right, cool. So the new value is the new value, and that's empty string. Now, I could put in an is loaded in here. Which I will do. And what we'll actually do, oh, sorry, this is away now. There we go. What we'll do in here, we'll add in a, don't save data if object has not finished loading. Easy done. So if is loaded, it's going to be false. We just return and do nothing, and that's perfectly fine. So these are just escape conditions, and then we shouldn't really reach that. But we need to put an on mounted. So we need an on mounted where we actually deal with this here. And oh, fuck off, you bastard. Excuse my French. And then what we've got to do is loaded equals true. Sorry, is loaded dot value. Relationship model has been updated. And that should be it. So if I hit refresh, oh, we're still hitting those. All right, so I'm going to wrap that around a next tick. So we type in next tick. We'll need to import it. I'm going to hit refresh. Still. I think it's meant to be that. Yeah, I think that was it. I honestly think that was it. That way, when I change one of these, boom. All right, cool. And everything comes through. Because we don't want the watch running when we don't need to. Now, another thing which we could potentially do is we could have something on here with a V on, being like if it changes and so forth like that. We can also do an omit. There are a bunch of things that we could do at the whelk level that will help us here and gets rid of that extra state where we're waiting for something to load in. I'm just trying to think. I don't know if there is. All right. I don't think this will work at all. I don't think we'll see anything pop up out there. Test change has occurred. Ooh. Which means I can get rid of this. Get rid of this. I can get rid of this. This no longer doesn't need to be in a watch whatsoever. This could be update relationship. So we're just gonna put it in down here, define functions and all that kind of fun stuff. We're gonna get rid of this. We don't need that at the end of that. Now, that should be update relation. The one problem I have is I don't know if we're getting the latest value. And if we're not, we wrap it at a next tick. That's fine. That would be relationship model. We'll do something like that. I am going to copy that. We're going to just do something on here like that. So that should be fine. I'm putting that at the end because I like my vions at the very, very end. We're just going to hit reload. So we should see some data in here. Now I'm going to change the top one to is blocked by. We have is blocked by. All right, so that's working how we want it to. And in reality, that should be dot value. Little mistake I make. Yeah. All right, so in here, we've now got all of this set up where we should be able to contact the backend and go, hey, we want to patch all of this. Yeah, let's get this started. So, oops. First off, we want to state update the state. We're telling the user, hey, we're just updating. Don't worry about this. Oh, but first I want to do some escape conditions. Because one thing, what if they change it to itself? Oh, hang on, I solved that myself. So if I click and don't change it, we don't see any green text underneath. The instant we do, boom. All right, so that's not going to be a problem. So escape conditions is if the relationship model dot value equals nothing, or relationship model equals undefined, or relationship model equals null. We've got nothing to do. Now this is going to throw up a problem. Yeah. Fuck off. Excuse my French. I'm sick and tired of this globe being so silly. Socks, your tail's in the way. Now that's a string, so it can't be undefined or anything like that. All right, we'll keep it like that for the moment. Yes, what's the matter? Can you get your tail out? No, socks. Can you seriously just get out of the way? Thank you. All right, so we've got the status updating. Don't start doing that. You know, if you do that, you're going on the floor. We're not fetching the status. We don't need to worry about any of this. We don't need to translate it or anything like that. That's perfectly fine. We just need to save the data. All right, cool. So we're going to save the data. We should have the object store. Oh, why isn't that coming through? Did we delete the object store by mistake? I think we did. Not a problem. There we go. It's done. It's back. The new value will actually just be the relationship model. Socks, you are causing trouble. Alright, so we're going to fetch. We've got the API, we've got that. This is part of the patch method. We've got the object store data. We actually need the... We need an ID. Because up here, we send down the index. That's where it's on the list. We need the relationship ID. I'm just wondering if I should call it object assignment ID. And I'm going to say yes. The reason being, it matches what's in the backend and so forth like that, so you don't have to do mental gymnastics to figure out what the variables match up to. All right. So object assignment ID. This will be type number required true. Easy done. All right, so if we go down here, then this will change to object props.object assignment ID. Done. And then we're patching it and so forth like that. So what I want to do, I want to hit refresh. I'm going to change that to isBlock2, and we have a problem. So moving this to the left, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on the network. We've got a 404, so we can't actually find that path. So now I've got to actually figure this out. I can already see that, yeah, we need link list in there. I'm just going to refresh. We're going to change that is blocked. Now we've got a 404 still. We've got the link list. It's patch. It's going in there. It can't find that. All right. So this is where we go into the back end. So we're going to minimize that. We're going to go up here. We're going to go in here. We're going to go views. All right. Cool. API. Yep. It's done. We are going to go into project API view. In here, what we have is we've got the we've got the method get, we've got the method post, we've got the delete, and we've got the patch. Now, list item is not correct. That's link list. Yeah, so that should all be link list. And that's probably it. Now we've just got to wait. We hit refresh. We scroll all the way down. We're going to change that is to blocked. We've got a 405. Method patch not allowed. Yes. Cool. I don't think we're actually hitting this one. I think we do have a patch up here. Which is, why are we not hitting this patch? I don't know. Because we're definitely hitting this get down here, because we're getting data. Oh, sorry, that's the post. That is just meant to be create. Because I simplified it. And that's meant to be delete. Services. Alright, so we've got the link list. Alright, I know if I put a... Jesus Christ, who's texting me? No one. Why are you going off? So if I do a refresh, we should hit... Yeah, that. And we can see that's the link list. That's the URL. Here, we've done a little R out the front to be like, hey, we've got to pass through a little bit extra data. And yeah, we're coming back 405. Method not allowed. I'm just wondering if it has something to do with this. So what I'm going to do, Django REST framework at actions, URL path with parameters. All right, we're going to ignore the AI for the moment. We've got our old school way, the Stack Overflow. They don't have an R out the front. In case you can't, don't want, whatever, installed, nested. She the same, oh, all right. All right. I'm going to get rid of this. URL path. We're also going to get rid of the spaces. So we've got linked lists. We've got link primary key. That's question mark P, link plus end brackets. Done that. Yep. Making sure it is patch. Yep. Priority successful. What? No, that wasn't successful. That should be update. But I'm just being pedantic here with the paste. Yeah, that's fine. We don't have a forward. Maybe. Maybe not. But that / is required. So yeah, like that. So we've got the /, in which case then the / has to belong there, in which case these other ones don't have it. Alright, this is annoying. So we've got linked list. I'll put the R out the front again. All of this is getting there. Fine, it's just, yeah. Alright. Generate me something. Detail equals true, methods equals get. Yep. Yeah, we're essentially got something similar. No, I don't need to get the query parameters. The next thing I gotta check is, and this has happened before, gotta make sure that's in like that. Method patch not allowed. Alright. What I'm gonna do, let's cut this. Let's go to Google. I have the following Django REST framework code. Yet I still get 405 method patch not allowed. Alright, let's see what it comes up with. Even though you have defined action to accept patch, check the following culprits, check the HTTP methods. Alright, we actually have patch at a lower level, which is one thing which I did check before. So we've got post, and then we've got patch down here. We've got methods, patch down here. Yep, easy. By default, allows all standard methods, however, if you class-based, you're inheriting explicitly defined HTTP method names. It acts as a global flick. Alright, cool. Yeah, we've checked that. Your configuration route order, the conflict, the standard detailed route /TK might be catching the request before it enters the... okay. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to comment this one out. Because they've both got similar routes. Very similar. In which case, if we do have something like this, I might need to actually do a thing in here. But not a problem. Alright, boom, that's it. So, the issue is, these I can't separate, and so forth like that. What if I wanted to separate out the two methods, delete and patch, that have the same URL path? I should put a URL path. To do the recommended way on action method URL path. So they've got that on at link list. So it means this action disappears. And we've got at link list delete dot method dot patch. All right, cool. Oh, mapping, sorry. Patch. Okay, let's see if that works. Oh, return text has no attribute errors. Actually, no, that might be my bug. So we're in here. Ah, cool. That did work. Sweet. So we're in here. Yeah, so the serializer itself. All right, so there's a couple of serializers in here. So we do that and then we pass through the errors. Yeah, all right, cool. So what I've done is thank you. And Microwave Coffee, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome. I do hope you are enjoying my content. And sorry, Kronos. Sorry, I just saw what you your message there. I do apologize for the tardiness of my reply. I'm building NearBeach, an open source project management system. So yeah, I do apologize. I was in the zone. And I really should catch up on all the chat. Sorry, I was in the zone. What's your project management framework stack? So it will be Django with the Django REST framework and VueJS on the front end. Do you have support for Notion-style document inlining with Project Tracker? I've never used Notion before, so I don't know. So yeah, but yeah, welcome. Sorry, I just hyper-focusing on the this little problem at the moment. But we got it fixed. At least I think I got it fixed. Probably didn't, but at least I tried. All right, so we're going to go is blocked by. We've got a 400. Yeah, we've got a bunch of stuff we've got to sort of send back now, which is good. What happens if two people make an update at the same time? Does it override or is there a lock? At the moment, it'll override. I know that is a problem. That is something I do want to actually solve. Oh, all right. Tell you what, we are on an ad break. I'm just going to put this on. All right, cool. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to get some water. All right. I needed that. All right, hopefully everyone's going well tonight. We're almost over with the ads. There we go. All right. So, what happens if two people make an update to the same text at the same time? Does it override or is there a lock? At the moment, it'll override. Hopefully in the future, I will implement something that will potentially stop that or allow live editing or something like that. I just don't have the resources at the moment or the time to actually do that, considering I'm refactoring quite a lot of it. We do have the API in there at the moment. Yeah, it's just one of those things that I got to think about, but it's a future thing. Yeah, it's getting those implemented and then working so that everyone has the same. They get the same data. They start off with some set of the data, and then they apply the diffs everyone has and all that kind of fun stuff. Excuse me, I just got the burps. All right, cool. So object ID, this field is required. Object relation and object type. So the object ID is not needed because that's the link ID now. Yeah, that will be that thing there. So if I go into here with the update, that will be the object ID. As you can see, we go through all here like this. So the link serialized. I'm just closing everything we don't need at the moment. So the object ID. Just going to put that as read only. All right. That handles that. The reason being 43 would be that object assignment ID. Oh, actually, no. A lie. This is required. Sorry. I'm giving some bad news. The object ID is this object here that we've got to upload there. Object relation will be the, for example, let me move this over. So the object ID will be this. The is blocked by will be the object relation, and the object type, there'll be, yeah, this here, which I believe we've got to have to pass down into here. Might be hard. Let's do that now. Let's go source components. Let's go object component. Let's go, where were we again? I've absolutely and utterly forgot. Link object. So I'm going to put this up. Actually, I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to remove that, and I'm going to remove that for the moment. I only have what I need to focus on. So we've got the project alert, we've got this, we've got the object assignment ID. We don't actually have the object type or anything like that, which will help in here. We actually do need that data because we need to link these to the correct spot. So this task is meant to go to the tasks component and so forth like that. So we actually do need that. So we need to in here go object type equals relationship dot object type. We've also got the object ID, so that will be object ID equals relationship dot object ID. We'll also have the object status. Give me 2 seconds. I'm just gonna front this over here. We'll have it here. So if we actually open up one of these, we've got the object status new. All right, looks like I am passing object status through. Oh no, I'm just rendering it over here. All right, cool. So I do need those to pass down. I did something like a Notion clone project 3 years ago. It was using tip tap, a headless Notion type engine thing. It was a huge pain. Package for 5. Oh, fair enough. Tip tap. Yes. Yep. Purple means I have looked at this before. It was ringing a bell. I think Embraco is using this now. Which is why it's somewhat quite familiar in my head. Yep, there we go. The tap. Cool. Yeah. I need to start using this at work, so I need to actually start studying TipTap. So yeah. Alright, so I'm passing that bit of data down just because it's going to be a lot easier for me to handle it if it's down there. It's going to be a lot easier for me to handle doing the contact changes down here and so forth like that. Just two variables passing down. That's not much. So what we've got is object ID. That is going to be a type of number. Required is true. And then we've got object type. That's going to be type of type of string. Required is also going to be true. Now, we could potentially limit this down to certain values and stuff like that. We're not going to worry about that at the moment. They did a lot of heavy lifting in this project, but darn integration folks, libraries is a pain. Ah, damn. Alright, so when we send data to the backend, what we've got to do is we're going to have a const data to send. Actually, no, we're no longer doing it like that. It's in here. So, an easy way to do this, let's have a look at this. Object ID. Object type. And then it's the relation, object relation. And that should be it. Oh, the state value should be nothing. All right, cool. Priority success. Ooh, do we actually have priority success up here? And it's not priority. It should be update. All right, I'm missing a couple of the translations. So, relationship updating. Oh, relationship success. Okay, cool. And then, yeah, we got the error. Once again, I will go through and handle this. I just got to decide. Do I use a coding assistant? No, not really. You'll see me use... I'm not saying I don't use AI. There's some reasons why I don't use my coding assistant in the IDE. One of them being is I've caught them a couple of times editing code that is not in focus and putting in stuff that is absolutely incorrect. You'll also see me swear a lot. The reason being is the autofill on this is sometimes just absolutely terrible. It'll show you something, you select what you want, and then it'll put something else in. It's getting to the point where I'm actually starting to turn off functionality in my IDE because it's just causing me frustration. Yeah, it's getting to that point where I'm just about to say, just give me hints, nothing else, and don't fill anything in. It's also inconsistent how it wants to fill stuff in. There's times, like I use Umbraco for my 9 to 5. In Umbraco, I need to import a certain external library. So I will go using, and then I'll type in Umbraco dot, and then all of a sudden it's put in our Umbraco something, something, something. And I'm like, no, don't do that, because there is using Umbraco.extensions. And I need that to get to stuff. For example, if I go var a, let's say we've got content.value I published enumerable, I can't remember it, enumerable I published content, something like that. Oh my god, deleted. Content. Something like that. Yeah, drives me nuts. But yeah, I will use AI. For example, I used AI here to sort of help me figure out my problem and what I was doing wrong. And it actually did this for me, where it validated my checks, for one, which is great. But it also pointed out that in here, I didn't get to the trailing slashes, that I had conflicting stuff. And I didn't realize that with the methods and stuff like that, that they weren't treated as separate. Like, it'll hit one method and then it'll still search and stuff like that if the methods don't allow it. So yeah, I do use AI, but it's more for a searching sort of thing. You know, like halfway in, I'm not lost in the source yet. Yeah, fair enough. I did write a little article on how and where, essentially my thoughts on AI for this quarter. And I still stick with this. AI should be a tool, not a crutch, too. But yeah, I use it for searching the web. Summarizing documentation or ideas, code snippets, and once again, that's snippets of code. So you'll have a look over here where we actually did get that fixed. I essentially had a look at wherever the solution was here, and I looked at this, and I was like, all right, that's how I solve it. I didn't get it to generate my full code. And also a bunch of issues in here. So yeah. Oh yeah, and I hate when it does that. One test I like to do for AI and stuff like that, large language models, is what I call the NearBeach test. I ask it, what is NearBeach? And not many of them get that right. And they muck up. Alright, so we've got this. Link update is successful, all of that stuff. I'm going in here. I'm just going to hit refresh. I'm going to change this to blocked. Didn't send anything because cyclical. Oh, all right. I've done a big boo-boo. I'm just going to delete all this. I'm just going to refresh again. So everything's fine until I change that. Unhandled error during native alert on us. Welk list alert on change alert. Compact. All right. Give me a couple of seconds. I'm going to have a look at. This would be anonymous component. Ooh. Linked objects. Why I asked them about NearBeach? Right, I'll see if I'm. Because a lot of them won't be able to answer it. Or they answer incorrectly. So this is actually correct. Yes, it's an open source project management and collaboration. Cool. Added design to help teams organize and track work in one place. It combines several. Yep. So project management, tracking task milestones and progress. Document storage. Yeah. Knowledge base. We don't actually have. Issue tracking and request tracking. All right. So we've got. We do have requests and request items. You got to think of them as essentially user stories. We don't actually have issue tracking. We are actually going to be creating something after they do the refactor of NearBeach, we will be creating a essentially an issue tracking and testing platform very similar to HP Quality Center. One of the key selling points is it's self-hosted open source. Yeah, that's correct. Which means that organizations can run it on their own servers instead of relying on Classjar. And yep, all right, cool. That appears to teens. Yep, which is fine. It also means that the data's yours. So yeah, suited for small. Yep, that's correct. IT departments, dev teams. Yep, organizations wanting an all-in-one internal tool without licensing cost. I mean, sure. It said this one's actually fairly correct. It's just, yeah, the knowledge base which is wrong, and the document storage is that we do allow people to upload documentation into NearBeach and stuff like that. But it shouldn't be. I wouldn't call it a document storage. Yeah. Compared to big commercial tools, you're in more. Yeah, we are minimal. And yeah, cool. Yeah, it does require some technical setup because of Docker. But yeah. But yeah, I tried Llama the other day, locally. And yeah, it didn't know what it was. Oh, I can't be bothered setting it up. But yeah, I set up a local Llama. Yeah, it just didn't know what it was and stuff like that, which was annoying. How long have I been working on the project? God damn it. A long time. I've actually got the pen and paper right here. So, back in 2016, I was in a job that I really didn't like. So I started actually learning web development here. I knew how to program. I just wanted to cartwheel out of the job I was in. Back in 2020, August, I deleted 95% of the code. It should have been 100%. And pretty much at the start of this year, so what are you in 2026? I am doing the big refactor. So yeah, a while, but NearBeach has really been turning into its own thing around about when I got 0.30 released. I'm trying to remember when I did release 0.30. I think 2023. Excuse me whilst I... there's no search in here, is there? No. Ugh. I don't think I actually had NearBeach on Docker then. 0.30. Oh no, I did. All right, cool. Yeah, 3 years ago, 0.30 came out, and that's when I would consider NearBeach being a proper thing. So 0.30 was a massive sort of bug fix and stuff like that. Yeah, I spent like 7 months fixing God knows how many bugs in it and so forth like that. 0.31, once I was actually happy with 0.30, that then went into 0.31, which was more building in more functionality now that I had a stable base. That sort of brought up massive tech debt issues and so forth like that, hence the big refactor. So 0.32 is going to be the big refactor. And then from there, hopefully we extend it through packaging and stuff like that. So yeah. No, I haven't tried Payload CMS. I don't even know what Payload CMS is. Oh, it's a headless CMS. Oh. They knocked my socks off. They are acquired by Figma now. Oh, congrats. And damn. I didn't realize Figma was in the position of actually acquiring stuff. Figma Inc. Do they have a wiki page, the Figma Inc., or is it all in here? But, Right, I am just going to clean up a couple of my tabs. Alright, cool. Ah. Oh yeah, I was fixing this issue. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. Not a problem. So we're sending down into it. Is loaded true. That's all the setup that's provided. Object routing. Oh, this is. I can never find the props in here now. Object store, object link list. Yep, that's fine. Is loaded. Yep, that's fine. That's all part of the setup provided. Undefined, undefined, undefined. Oh, I don't know why that's all undefined. We've got object, we've got routing. Verbal locals. I'm just going to hit refresh. I'm going to bump that off to the right and we're going to have a look in here. So something somewhere in here is breaking and we just got to find it. Now, in reality, it could be these. I honestly think that's it. So I'm just going to comment them out for the moment. We are going to hit refresh. We are going to hit the console. We're going to go is blocked by. Now it's come back as successfully updated priority, but that's not correct. It actually, we came up with a network error where it's a 430. All right, cool. So I'm going to undo that one and we're going to go is blocked by. All right, so that one's fine. We're going to undo that one. Relationship model. That's it. Skill issue. Oh, we got a 400. Is blocked. Is not a valid choice. All right, not a problem. We'll fix this up. Now, it might be... Let's go back over here. So we've got linked list. We're going through this. We're doing the update. I'm just going to pop that on there. It's a good reason why I'm doing that. I'm just going to go and change that. Now we should be here. Did it just crash? The fuck? Excuse my French. I'm just going to stop everything. I'm just going to look through the feature set. It looks pretty swag. A rocket. Ah, cheers. Thank you. So hopefully we get it looking somewhat a lot nicer like this, because at the moment I actually can't show you my production, but I do use Oh, sorry. Krishna, what exactly are you building? Something in GitHub or what? No, it's project management system. So think Jira. If we go to demo.NearBeach, it kind of looks like this at the moment, and this is what we're sort of improving. Yeah, it's not the best looking thing out there. Got some feedback, like when you create a new project, you got to fill out all of this, and I was like, yeah, it's not the best sort of thing. Whereas nowadays you only fill out that and who's got the permissions to it. So something a lot quicker and easier to do. We're also implementing translations and all that. Internationalization, yes. All right, cool. Sorry, I was prattling on and I didn't see your comment, but yes, we are. Good question. So, in Chrome, I've just set it to Japanese. The reason being is I know that's saying project. But it also stands out because it's a different character set and stuff like that. So it makes it easier finding missing translations. So yeah, the idea with this is people will be able to be like, all right, cool, I have my own things and so forth like that. Some of these things like this isn't translated because you'll be able to actually edit these statuses. Whereas something like priority, you can't edit. So yeah, that's why some of it's still in English. And I haven't gotten everywhere yet, but that's all translated, which is nice. That's not working for some strange reason. Because there's nothing there. All right, there we go. Yeah. You'll also know that I am terrible. You'll find out very quickly I am terrible with acronyms. I'm actually looking up RTL. Right to left. Support. Good question. I don't know how to design it in. If there is a request for it, I'm more than happy to go out and implement it. Not a problem. And there are quite a lot of languages which go right to left. I do believe Arabic. Yeah, the script is written right to left. Yeah. Yeah, so it's a very good point. And I tell you what, give me a couple of seconds. Oh, I gotta log in. Oh, I got two-factor. So I'm logging in. I'm actually going to create a ticket. So I handle this. Give me a couple of seconds. Making sure I don't do that again. Give away my token. The amount of times I've done silly set stuff on stream, countless. Definition I've done. I'm just wondering if this will be API administration database front end. All right, cool. So yeah, this is zero. Hang on. I need this page. So this is 0.31. So front end, what we want to do, implement designs around languages that go right to left. All right, I'm going to put this as a pretty high sort of task to do. There are many languages that go right to left. If we are implementing translations, we should also implement the ability to allow said languages to appear naturally. All right, cool. And I'll slot that up. There we go. Now you got to add fake AI features and charge corporations $30 US a month per seat. Yeah. Alright, so, where was I? I was getting back onto this. So yeah, as you can see, this is looking a lot nicer. I'm spending a lot more time on the design and so forth like that. I've learned a lot since doing the original design. I'm still a terrible designer. Don't ever get me to design stuff. This is what you get when you get me to design stuff. But it is an improvement. Now, if we do relates blocked, all right, cool. This goes in here. We're just going to go forward. Data, yep. So we have a problem. String is blocked by invalid choice. Why do we have the Japanese in there? All right. Alright, so what I'm going to do, link serializer, we're just going to go into it. I'm just going to hit play to pass everything through. In here, what we've actually got is we've got the link relationship. Read on the trick. No, object relation. It should be this relation dict. I don't think I've got this. Alright, no, I've done a big boo-boo. It's an easy fix, though. With the relationship links, up here we've got these values. They don't match what's on the right. So that should be relates. And that should be blocked by, and that should be blocking. Alright, cool. Yep, that just requires me going... this should be sub object of, should be parent object of, this would be has duplicate object. All right, cool. That was it. We're just gonna refresh. Ooh. Oh yes, this is Socks. You can give her treats. There is a reward for it, and she does love treats. She also causes a lot of trouble on the stream. She's already broken one webcam. She jumps up onto the desk and knocks things over. She sits on my mouse, and she also sits on the keyboard and tries to get in the way all the time. Now, that being said, Oh, I need to translate these down here too. All right. So that will be blocked by blocking as duplicate. Wait, let me select duplicate object. Hang on, I'm making sure is duplicate object. Should be that one. All right, blocked by, yep. Is subject of, should be that. And then parent object of that. All right. Oh, donkey's balls. Oh, you did it again. All right. So, parent object of and then we got the relates to. That should just be relates. So we've got a shortened value and then what the user should see. In reality, I should change this, and get all of this matching up. Yeah, I should do that, shouldn't I? Oh, I can't be bothered. All right, so we've got all of that working now. So if we go and blocked, we've got this. We're gonna step over. Boom. All right, cool. Serializer passed. I'm just gonna hit play and hope for the best. All right. Something else is still broken. We'll come back to that. This is going to annoy me if I don't actually fix this up. Give me 2 seconds. We're going to go in here and we're just going to type in relates and replace all of those. Then up here we're going to go is blocked by, and we're just going to be calling it blocked by. We're just going to replace all of those. Is currently blocking. I didn't want to go all the way up there. Thank you very much. That should be blocking. Thank you very much for doing that again. I'm just cheating. Yeah, we'll just quickly do this. There you go. The reason why is I like consistency from the top down. All right, it just makes life so much easier if we've got consistency. So all of that is consistent. Now that I've done that, let's actually fix up what's going in the wrong in the back end. If I move that to the left, we're going to have a look. We can see that exception value logic, link service 274. So we're going to go 274 in here. We have object relation. Is that what's screwing it up? So I'm going to put a breakpoint there, and I'm just going to test that. So we've got the is blocked by, we're bang right here. So we've got the object type, we've got the data. I'm just going to hover over the data. We've got object ID, object type. We don't have object relation. I mean, it was throwing up an issue before. So I'm just going to open up this. We've only got object ID and object type. What the hell? Why does this thing hate me? Yeah. All right, object relation, choice field, da da da. Yeah, it's there. You got the fields. Object relation, we got it there. And then we step over, that's where we hit the issue. And I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah, that object relation.
Let's scroll all the way down to about here. Oh, wait, get back there. I actually want more details. Why? Why do you have this error? Why don't you have that data in there?
So because I've only got that as right true, I'm just going to get rid of that. And now we have it. So if I go forward, everything will work perfectly fine. So right true, right only, sorry, doesn't do it with a patch. What if I do patch true? Australian. No, that's fine. No, I'm Australian. Been here all my life. Never been over to Britain or anything like that. So yeah. Specifically Melbourne. All right, I've definitely broken something. Yeah. It doesn't like that patch. So I am going to go Django REST framework, and what I'm going to do is serializer write only missing patch method. All right, we're just going to just use the AI here. Write only equals true, required equals false, partial equals true. Oh. Oh, yeah, wait, we've got that. We should have that. So I'm getting rid of this. We're going into the link service. So it's requesting that put through. Use the Django REST framework at work? Nice. I haven't used it for work yet. The reason why I picked Django so many years ago was I was learning some PHP because I knew C and C++, and it was very similar syntax and WordPress and all that kind of fun stuff. Except I kept coming across tutorials that clearly were teaching people how to implement security bugs into their own website, and I cracked the shit. It's been like, this is absolutely terrible. There are no proper documentation. Remember, this is 10 years ago. No proper documentation whatsoever around, not documentation, tutorials around how to do this safely and properly, and so forth like that. So I was like, I know Python, and I just typed in Python web framework. It was actually the top search. I clicked in it, and I went getting started, and I went to the tutorial. Somewhere on here, getting started, try the tutorial, there it go. Did this in about 20 minutes, and at the end of those 20 minutes, I was like, you know what? I can build NearBeach with this. I can build what I want with this. Yeah, no, it's been great. It's been great. It's not the only framework I've used. I've also used Laravel, and the only thing which I didn't type in PHP web framework and try and use something like this. But I got introduced this into Laravel at my last job. Really, really loved it. I use .NET at work now. Yeah, that's one thing where that's why I'm moving a lot of the work to the front end with Django and utilizing the API. .NET and Laravel scare the crap out of you? Oh, fair enough. You do get used to it. Didn't I put this? I didn't hit run. Like I've been using .NET for quite a while now, and I kind of like it. There's a lot of features to it, and a lot of those features you can ignore. And that's fine. Alright, we're going to go is blocked by. We've got this. Ah, you bastard. This is annoying. Alright, let's go back to here. So we've got the partial equals true. Yep. Serializer meta. We've got the fields. We're not using extra quags. This field is used for input, post, put, and patch, but never included in the API output. Yeah, that's what we want. Internal flag that makes all fields optional for that specific validation cycle. No. Not really, because we only have a couple of fields that we need, so definitely not partial. So I'm getting rid of that. That write only should be picking up stuff, and we should be converting stuff. We should not be having that problem down here. So I'm getting rid of the required true for the moment. Yeah, no, that shouldn't affect it. But yeah, the fact that we're not getting that data. Really annoying. So I'm getting rid of the write only. It's got an issue actually getting the data now because of that. Damn it. And then what I want to do, get rid of it, wait a couple of seconds, and then change that. So we've now hit this, and when I get rid of write only, it appears in here. I'm just like, no. You silly duffer. Alright. We got object relation, blocked by. Okay. Let's ask the AI. No, sorry, I wanted to get rid of the context. New thread. Alright, good afternoon, or evening I should say. I am using Django REST framework and have the following field within a serializer. When I use patch as a method and then validate my data with the following code, it will pass perfectly fine and move on. However, I am unable to retrieve the data using the following line of code. And then we go down here and we're like, all right, cool. We're just going to cut that. We're just going to paste that into here where a similar line of code works perfectly fine. All right, cool. Only means that you don't get to fetch it. It only... Oh, okay. To access the validated input data before the object is saved, you should use serializer validated data instead. That will just work for us. But yeah, thank you very much, Microwave. Yeah, I didn't know that. In which case, in reality, I really should be using validated data everywhere. Alright. We are going to hit refresh. We're going to hope for the best. We got a 500. Can I assign a 1 object project? Object assignment dot project must be a project instance. That's not a problem. That's a different thing. So we're using validated data there too. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go object. I'm going to say ID because hey, we can. I should clean that and I should go object ID.pk. So we're now past that. We'll get down to here. Let's just change that again. Is currently blocking. Int has no attribute pk. Oops. That would be 287. That's just down here. Object assignment dot parent link equals get parent link. Ha ha ha. All right. So now we've got another problem in here. We need the validated data. All right, hopefully that works. 287 still. Damn it. I'm just going to put a little thing on there. Oh, all right. All right, let's start here. We're breaking up a lot sooner. All right, I'll put a breakpoint up there. There we go. So we're back here. apparently we crashed. Okay. Let's start again. Let's just hit refresh, clean slate. Is blocked by. Boom. We're here. We step forward. We've got object type in here, and that's a task. We're fine with that. So single object. So that should be object dictionary. We've got the object type is the task, and what we're going to do is get with an object ID 1. So we should pass that. Yep, there we go. Single object. There's our single object, and we're like, sweet. So we're setting the attribute. We then, yep, do that. Oh, it's that line. Okay, so I'm just going to hit a breakpoint there. We're going to go back here, and I'm going to go, is currently blocking. Yeah.
So we've got the object assignment. So we're setting in on this object here. We're setting the field project to this location 1. Oh.
I think I know what is going wrong here. We're going to use an F string to just append an ID to the end like that. All right, easy done. Because that's going to be an integer. It's probably expecting something. It's an int string thing. Possibly. Hopefully. It should try and convert that to a number. But yeah, we'll find out in a second. So we've got this. If this doesn't work, yeah, you're right. I think you're right. Yeah, it just crashed. All right, not a problem. I'm gonna undo what I've just done. Yes. Yes, and I think it's just that, isn't it? I'll just cast it. I'm gonna hit refresh, stop and rerun. Because that didn't actually send back, us back a result. I'm gonna go is blocked by, we should hit here. So that should cast it into an int. That's the field project. Which if we open up object assignment,
We should see one saying project in here like this. But we might need to go project ID with...
Okay, cool. Yep. It's going to crash. Oh, I'm just going to hit play. Going to fat finger all the buttons. So I'm going to put back the F string. Just because I'm making this easier for me. Oops. If I do that, it's expecting an int. Instead of an object. So we go into here, we're going to go forward, boom, done. All right, cool. Cheers, thank you very much, Microwave. Then we've got that one, and then we've got the parent link. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I'm just going to hit play. We've got a 500 error still, near relationship. Line 22. Object relation is what I want. Oops. If I can add some constraints to it. And that's the thing. I don't like it filling out stuff if I don't want it to. and so forth like that. I'm happy making mistakes because I know I will also fix up my mistakes. I don't mind if something's sort of scanning the code and being like, hey, this is going to be a problem, hey, this is going to be a problem, and stuff like that most of the times. Yeah. All right. We've got object relation, fetch the relationship. All right, cool. Yep. We're fine with that. So I'm going to change this now. Is blocked by. So we've got this. We're past that. We're past that. We've passed that. Are we going to save? We are saving. We've got the serializer. We're just going to hit play. And it booked at the last second. All right. Yeah, I mean, if I have that, that would be great. It would be also good if it could sort of keep track of the structure and all that kind of stuff. So that way, when I hover over something, it'll bring up the types and all that kind of fun stuff. But yeah, I did have something on, because I'm using JetBrains, I did use their one for a bit, but yeah, it was starting to make changes that were not in focus, so I didn't have those documents open or anything like that, and I started adding in code that did not make sense, and I do not like that at all. Not one bit. I'm on the Claude $20 a month plan. Is it? Oh, fair enough. Alright, so it broke somewhere. Got attribute error when attempted to get a value object ID on serialize link serializer. The serializer field might be named incorrectly and not match the... Alright, so... Object ID. We've got a... Alright, no, I know why, because this is easy. With our get list, we've got certain values that we're pulling out. And those values get changed into this. And I don't think I can annotate something on there. So I don't think I can go, let's say, temp equals object assignment. Paste all of that in. That won't work. Annotate doesn't work here. So I'm just thinking what would be a better solution for this. In this sort of case, what I could potentially do is I've got the save. I could easily do another query to get that, redo that data, get that data. And that will be as simple as fetch data and serialize. That will be as simple as object results equals. Keep that in at the moment. Be as simple as that. Actually, that PK, that will be the that'll be the same as the one up here. The object ID passing through. Yeah, PK equals object ID. Like so. Oh, yeah, we rename it over here. Yeah, I don't need it there then. That was silly of me to redo that. So that should go there. That should be object ID, single object. Hang on a minute. No. And then, yeah, we got all the data points and all that kind of stuff. The original query doesn't... Damn, all right. So I'm just having a bit of a think. So the original query that actually gets the list actually loops through a bunch of different objects to get what we want. Then, in this sort of case, we don't know what the object type is, but we do have this single object up here. But once again, our single object dot annotate. We don't have the... Oh, we might have the ability to annotate. All right. In which case, then, I want to rerun this once this object is saved. But why am I passing through... Oh, yeah, that's setting it to the object assignment, because the object assignment handles the connections and so forth like that. I need to go up here. Data point list, this is all the project and all that kind of stuff, and then we loop through, and then we get the data point. That will be the object title, where that is located. And that's the data we sent back. I mean, in reality, do I need to send back the data? Because no information is changing that hasn't already changed on the front end. We just need to give them a 200. Yeah, I'm gonna... If you're creating something, that makes sense. However, in this sort of case, we're updating something, the data on the front end is not going to change. So if we go down here, we update, we don't need to worry, sorry, we need the serializer. We won't have any data, we will have data there, we won't have any data up here if it's a success. Because it's an update, but the front-end user will have all that data. Cool. That should all be sort of done now. I'm just going to hit refresh until everything boots up again. We're going to is blocked by, come on. All right, line. Task matching query does not exist. All right, I've balked something again. I feel like it's when I did the object ID override. So I'm going to put a breakpoint here, and I'm just going to do that again. I'm just going to go currently blocking. Here we are. We've got validated data. Object ID is a 1. If we go up here, object ID is 43. All right, this, that task, is that a task 1? I'm going to change this. To be proper, because that's actually going to be the object assignment ID. Easy done. We're going to search for object ID in here. That's broken. That's perfectly fine. And then what I'm going to do, object ID equals serializer, and we're going to do that. All right, so we're happy with that. What we're going to do is we're going to change that. We've gotten there. I think it just crashed. All right. I'm going to hit refresh. Change this to is blocked. I'm just going to hit play. Boom. All right, we got a 200. So the first task administrator should now be is blocked. Ooh, didn't update it. All right. yeah, we're getting there slowly. So I know this is number 43. I am going to go localhost. Let's go into the admin. I didn't set this up. All right, not a problem. We'll open up. Actually, we're opening up data grip. Put data grip over here. We're just getting rid of all of that. Sorry, excuse me. We are just minimizing everything. Now, this is the NearBeach stuff. We have the object assignment. We're going to go and go. Oh, I think it's just create a new. No, just new query. No, I want a new query. It is organized. Anyway, doesn't matter. What the fuck? Alright, excuse my French. Where ID equals 43. So we've got this. Now, what I want to do. All right. what's actually happening is these are not structured how we want. These should be structured like that. There we go. All right, not a problem. We're getting there. So what we want to do is down here, we've got object assignment. We've got the destination ID equals the location ID. Yep, that's perfectly fine. It was the link relationship and the parent link. So the parent link, get parent link serializer. So we're going through here. We're going to do, we do that. Relationship equals that. So it sends back object type. Do I just need to wrap that? Cheers, thank you. I'm trying my best. We've had to... Going back to the history of NearBeach and stuff like that, when I only deleted 95% and I should delete 100%, one of the things I didn't delete was the models. I've gone back and sort of took out a lot of the technical debt in there. One of the technical debts is inconsistency with the naming conventions within it. So, yeah. Makes it a lot easier to program when there's consistency. So, yeah. All right. So, we've got the parent links. That should give us back a string now. And I believe if we do something like that, it should also give us a string. I'm just going to put a breakpoint here, just double check that. We are going to hit refresh to double check everything. We're just going to go is currently blocking. We've got this down here. We're just going to scoot on it over. We're going to hover over link relationship. Oh, it's a tuple still. Not what I wanted. And the parent link is a tuple. So no, we... All right. Oh. I'm just going to test that one first. We're going to add the breakpoint here. Just got to refresh, double check that it has come back. No, it didn't. Not in time. We're going to go currently blocking. There we are. So if I go link relationship now, it is evaluating and I will never get a response. Damn it. But if I hit play, let's pass it through. We've got this. I'm going to rerun this. This is one thing I don't like about Data Studio. It caches sometimes. And I keep forgetting how to remove the cache. I'm just going to get rid of that. Let's exit out of that. That's one of the things which you don't want to fucking have in databases. need the ID, not meta object. This is going to be the ID. We said that was going to be 43. Oh, maybe that was correct. No. It's currently blocking. Yeah, now it's just got to be like that. All right. And a project like that. What were the fields? I'll just go back to data grip. Okay, now it's like that. All right, relation dictionary. Only pass in. All right, I'm just going to grab this. Let's go over here. Let's go source VM bin activate. I can't spend too much longer on this because I am having an early finish tonight. Let's say I go a equals relation dict, and we're just going to put in relates. Yeah, we should get that. So I'm just going to go link narration. Let's delete that line. No one saw that. Link relationship shop, not ship, not shop, equals, and this is the relationship dictionary, and we're passing through the object relation. And then what I'm going to do, get rid of that, link relationship, pass it through like that. Then I want to get parent link. So that will be parent link equals self.get parent link, and we're just passing through the serializer like that. The reason why I'm doing this and declaring variables up here is just so it's easier for me to track what exactly is happening. I'm just going to hit refresh. I'm going to change this to is blocked by, and then we're going to go over here and we can see that this is blocked in a nice way and this is task in a nice way. And I'm just going to hit play, and then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to refresh. And yet it's put it in brackets in here. Now another thing is we're editing in here too. I'm just commenting at that line just to make sure I'm not doing any weird sort of changes. So I'm just going to refresh. We're going to go is blocked by. Now that has gone through perfectly fine. We're going to hit refresh in here. Looks like this is still the same. I'm actually going to go is subject of. All right, so this should subject of task. And yeah, what the? Parent object of. Yeah, that's a string, sub object. That should not be doing that. Alright, so currently blocking, we've hit this. We're going to have a look at the object assignment. We're going to expand it open. We're just going to go through here and have a quick look at the parent link. That shouldn't be doing that. I don't know why it's coming through as a Drupal. It's the weirdest thing ever. We've also got set meta object in here, so if the destination equals the type, it goes through here and sets things up like that. I've got to double check that later. I'm just going to hit refresh. We're just going to hit play here just to keep it going. It's going to currently blocking. That should be there. If I have object assignment now, if I hover over parent link, we've got string project. Hover over this. Changes into a Drupal. I think I know why. No, I don't know why. So we're after the fields, parent link and link relationship. Parent link, it's a character field. What the? Oh, I'm an idiot. Alright, the reason being, trailing comma. I've had this problem before, and it's just those one lines, boom. And I was like, I've had this before, and it's tripped me up for hours. Alright, currently blocking. Let's have a look. Parent link. Evaluating. That's not a good sign. Parent link. Project. Link relationship. Block. Let's get rid of that little thing there. Let's go back over here. Let's hit refresh. Project and block. So is currently blocking should reappear down here. Perfect. And then if we go sub-object of and we refresh. Oh, that one didn't work. And we've got two cases of that happening. So is parent object of stays is parent object of. If we go is sub object of, it changes to is parent object of. What happens if we do is blocked by? Is currently blocking. All right, so we have a little problem there. Oh, sorry, microwave. Is the second argument of the Drupal a boolean? Oh, yeah, no, it was, I don't know when you wrote that. That's a UI bug, maybe. Yeah, I think I know where this other bug is coming from. And I think it's part of the get list at the moment. So if we get to the link list, that top one should be this top one because we don't do any sorting at the moment. In here, we got reverse relation, so that should be a true, so it should be landing on is blocked by. And if I go into here, we should be, it's currently blocking this project, or I might be not doing this correctly. Oh no, parent task. Parent link is the task. So yeah, I need to actually fix up my code to state, hey, this relationship means that this particular task is blocking something else. So yeah, but I've got to call it there tonight because I just need to do a few things. We are going to read toggle bit tonight. But yeah, no, it's been really good this evening. We're getting this done. And thank you very much, Mike Way, for being here. I do hope I can see you again on my other streams. I do stream Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., 6:30 to 10 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So, usually. So, yeah, I'm hoping to get this done, then the delete, and then we can add in here. And once that's done, it'll be good. It'll be good. Then we just do the documentation, which will be another tricky one. Notes and comments I don't see is going to be hard, because by that sort of stage, we would have figured out a lot of the process, and then MISC will be piss easy. So, yeah. Alright, thank you very much for being here. We are going to read Toggle Bit. And for those on YouTube, thank you very much for being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It does help, and I hope to see you next time.